Hey, and welcome to Build Your First Website with David Kezi. And I'd like to be taking you through on how to build a website, especially for basic beginners. Like you've never built a website before, you've just been hearing about web development, everyone around is trying to be a web developer and all, and you want to see how you can get started. I think this is for you. If you're more experienced, maybe not, or maybe you can just watch it to critique and give feedback and comments on what needs to be improved. So let's begin. What is web development? Web development is basically the process of building websites. Short, yeah, for short. There are two main branches of web development. We have front-end web development, also known as client-side development, and we have the back-end, also known as server-side development. The difference is just this. Client-side does mainly with, or rather deals mainly with visuals, like what people can see. When you go to facebook.com, what you can see basically was handled by someone versed in front end or client side development, or you can call it just the client side. And back end is something that happens behind, basically what the user can't see. When you click on the button and the button sends a form and the form does something, it sends an email or all those extra processes, the sending of the email, the button doing whatnot. You can't see that happening, but then it's happening at the background, and that is the job of back-end developers to make that happen. Well, in this series, I would start first and foremost with front-end client side. What we're going to be doing here is I'm going to take you through on how to build a website for yourself. Basically, just one for yourself. I'll show you mine in a bit, but let's keep going. Who can be a web developer is something I'm always asked, and people always try to find out. Do I need math skills? Do I need some superhuman power or some other thing to be a web developer? And I'm of the opinion that anyone can be a web developer, no matter who you are. Just the same way anyone can read or write, but not everyone is going to be interested in pursuing a career in web development. The same way not everyone pursues a career in being an author, or rather pursues a career in writing and things like that. But I believe it's something that should be learned in barest minimum, like basics. Just like how every one of us writes and reads, I think everyone should learn how to code in some sort. Okay, let's begin. For this series, what you're needing is just simple things. First and foremost, you need a computer. Then you'll also need a web browser, a text editor, and more importantly, or rather most importantly, you need passion and determination. These things do get hard. They do get a bit difficult. You play two at some point. But please, enjoy you, please have some determination and you would find some passion by the way, hopefully. Okay, for computers, you can use a Windows operating system, you can use a Mac, you can use Linux or any other operating system you have around. For web browsers, you can use Chrome, Firefox, Opera, many other ones, but I prefer Chrome because of its developer tools, which you'll be seeing way later on into the series. But then please, if you have access to Chrome, do use Chrome. Please do not use Internet Explorer. Yes, you can use any other browser except from Internet Explorer. Thank you very much. And for text editors, there are like a million of them. A million of them. Sublime Text, Atom, Brackets. Um, there's so many, so many. And please don't waste time trying to find which one is the perfect one for you to use. I would suggest you try out Sublime Text and Brackets. I've never used Atom, but I started with Brackets, the Sublime Text by the side. Please try using any of them, and I think you'll be in good hands. Okay, then. We are going to start with HTML and CSS. Or I say, okay, I mentioned earlier we were doing front-end web development, and front-end basically is comprised of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But in this series, I'll start off with HTML and CSS. Then as we go further at some point, we'll inject in JavaScript and see how everything does the magic for us. So now HTML. What is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And what does it do? It just defines the content structure of your website. I had something to show you. Let's go to facebook.com This is facebook.com as we know it. If you try to come in for the first time to facebook.com. But now this site has both CSS, JavaScript, and whatnot. And let's see if we can remove every other thing and leave just the basic HTML. Okay, now this is how facebook.com would look like without CSS and without any other thing. This is just plain HTML, at least for visuals. Plain HTML. I'm sure it doesn't look that pretty to you. If you saw this, you probably won't be using Facebook. You see, nothing serious, just plain HTML, I would say it. But then when we add other things, like when CSS is added, we can see the magic there. Let's get back to what we're doing. So in HTML, I'll be taking you through some basic things. And some basic things to know in HTML are things like element, tags, and attributes. What are elements? Elements define the content of objects within the page. I go to brackets. Yeah. So when we talk about elements, we talk about things like headings. Things like headings which are denoted with H1 to H6. Then we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. H1 being like the biggest heading, like main heading, and H2 downward mean subheadings. We also talk about things like paragraph. We have paragraph elements. How do you spell paragraph? Now, paragraph, I think, yeah. Paragraph is just denoted by P. Now, our P element. We have the document division. Document. Yeah. This is denoted with a div. And there's so many other ones. There's the anchor one for links and countless other ones. Some I've never even known. Some I just see once in a while. But please, these are some of the more frequent ones that you would come across when you are doing HTML. And okay, that's that for elements. What I say we're going to do next. Okay, next we have tags. Tags just tags contain elements. Will I put it like that? Tags are denoted by greater than and less than signs, less than and greater than signs. And when you have an element inside, let's say H1, now you have a H1 tag. And let's do know that for most elements, or than most tags, they have the opening tag and the closing tag. And this is how you denote a closing tag. Yeah, like this. And then you can have whatever text you have here. Let's assume you want your heading to be high. Now, you put that in the H1 tag, you're going to have a big heading. If you want to do the same thing with a div, you're going to do something like this. A div. So now this is your div tag. You have your div opening tag and you have your div closing tag. That's that for tags, basically. And then we have something we also call attributes in HTML. Attributes are used to just provide information about an element. Let's say, how do I put it? Okay, let's say you have this H1 tag and you'd like to give it some extra attributes. You can give it, let's say, class. You can name the class whatever you like. Let me see, you can see main heading. You understand? Good. So usually written in the opening tags of different elements. That's where we usually have attributes. Attributes can be different. We can have class attributes, like I just showed now. We can have ID attributes. Those are the main attributes for HTML, but there are many other ones. There are countless other ones we'll be using and we'll see from time to time. I think that's a wrap for just basic HTML. Now I'm going to show you like the actual syntax. This is just an explanation of the elements, the tags, and the attributes. So now basic syntax, basic HTML. Now let's see now. This is going to actually be your first website. So take it very seriously. So now when you want to start a HTML, all you need to do is you just create a HTML file. Right now I mentioned earlier about text editors. So this is brackets. If you want to install brackets, you can just go to, I think it's adobe.brackets.com. Let me just confirm that. Or you know what? Let's see. Let's go there ourselves. Okay, so right, sorry, it's bracket.io. So you can visit bracket.io and download the one for your operating system and install it right away, so you can jump back into development. Yeah, I really like it because it has so many features like live preview, plugins, Git integrations for version control and all. But don't worry about that for now. Just download the text editor and start using it. But you could also try Sublime Text. Sublime Text is a really popular one, really popular. Bracket is free, by the way. There's some other ones you could pay for, but for now, for the time being, you can start with either brackets or Sublime Text. Sublime Text 2, you can just click. I'm using a Mac, so I just download one for OS 10. If you're on Windows or Linux, you will do likewise. So that's that. Rather, good. So while starting out HTML, the first thing you do is to create a file with the extension .html. Please let's create a file with the extension HTML. I've done that already. Let's see. No, can go new. So see, then I click Command S on the Mac. Then it's going to ask me to save, and I can, like I did before, I named them index.html, and then save. Definitely, just replace. Fine. Um, good. So I have my index.html file here. The first thing I'm going to do is to define my doc type. What this means now is that you're telling the editor that you're dealing with a HTML file. And also, when you're trying to run it on browsers and all, it lets them know that you're actually dealing with a HTML file. Next, we'll discuss all these other things at length later. Right now, I just want to see how the basic implementation of it goes. When you open your HTML tag, you give it a language. I am going to go in with English. Where's EN? Okay, good. And the good thing about editors is that they can help speed up your development process by adding things like closing tags, things like predictions, and sometimes they can even detect errors for you. That makes it way quicker. You could also write HTML in a normal on Mac, a text wrangler. It's just a normal text editor, but then just name it .html. Although it's much harder because you won't have this autocorrect and prediction to help you, by the way. So the next thing we do when we're dealing with HTML is we create a head element, or what I call it the head tag now. And what goes into the head? What goes into the head is additional information about your site or about your web page that the clients and the users can't see. Users can't see what's there, but then it helps the web browser and it helps web crawlers to access your website. We're going to add meta tag, and now this just defines your character set. For now, just set it as UTC-8. Sorry, is this too? Let me see if I can make it a bit. Okay, fine. Then always give your site a title. Here I'm going to name it my first website. Good. My first website. You can name it whatever you want. My first website. That's what I'll name mine. Then next, let's go and create a body tag. What does body in HTML do? As the name sounds, it's just the body. You have it divided into three sections. You have the head, you have the body. We have the normal HTML rather. We have the head and we have the body. You can also break inside the body. You can have header, you can have footer, you can have divisions and all. But this is how it is mainly. You have your head and your body. Now inside your body, you can put in whatever you want to put. Let's start with putting a header. And in my header, I say hello. I save my file. For the Mac, I do Command S. And then I can click on this, live preview, and bam. I've created my first website. Woo! What do I have in my first website? Hello. That's all I have. And this hello now is a header, and it's header 1. We would see, okay, let's try the same thing with header 2. I'm going to duplicate this and change this to 2, save my file, and then go back to Chrome. Okay, you can see this is header 1 and this is header 2. Header 1 is way bigger than header 2, and if you go down header 3, header 4, header 5, header 6, and stuff like that, they all decrease in size, header 1 being the biggest. We also have another element, like mentioned earlier, the P element as your paragraph. It mainly just carries text, alphanumeric characters rather, and helps you structure them into different chunks. Right now I can write here, hello, my name is David Kezi, and I am excited to be building my first website. I save, go back to my web browser, and I can see, hello, my name is David Kezi, and I'm excited to build my first website as a paragraph. You see, we notice it's not a header 2, it's not a header 1, it's just a paragraph, plain text. Are we good? And what next? As I mentioned earlier, we also have divisions. Divisions just help us structure our code, because we could have a division for my name, or let's say division for the first section of my website, division for another section, division for countless sections. We can do that like that. I can copy this, paste it here, go back to my browser, and I see, okay, oops, I copied something I didn't want to copy as well. Why did I copy the headers? And delete them first. Okay, good. You can see this is where, I think this is where it stops. Give me a minute. Let's figure out what's happening here. Let's create a division. Good, and then in my division I can write, I can put a paragraph, yes, and then write whatever I wanted to write earlier. My name is blah blah blah. Then I can have another division, open another paragraph, and then having here something else. Good. So I see my name is blah blah blah, and I see something else. Is that good? Okay, now fine. That's for HTML, basically. Now let's move over to CSS. CSS deals with styling and visual appearance. We saw earlier that when I just put in my headers and my paragraphs and everything, they were just there, plain. But then what if I wanted to change the color of my header? What if I wanted to change the color of the page? What if I wanted to change, countless other things I could have done. What if I wanted to do so many of those things? I can't do them within HTML. Okay, technically you can, but then you can do them with the HTML language rather. You do them with CSS. CSS means cascading style sheet. Yes, yeah, I think that's it. Cascading style sheet. So quickly, if you want to write CSS, I suggest you create a new file and name it whatever you like. In my case, I'm going to name it app.css. So I have my CSS file here, and let's assume. Okay, before we get there, in CSS we have what we call a selector, and a selector is basically the tag you want to pick broadly. Let's call it that first. A selector is just what you want to style and what you want to change. Not necessarily tag whatever you want to style and whatever you want to change. So your selector could be it could be your P. This is how it's written in CSS. So now this P here now is your selector. It could be your div. So now this div exists as your selector. It could be your H1, that's your header. Now this exists as a selector. I believe I've passed across some information. What we need to do next, or rather what we need to know next after selectors is properties. Now we've picked this P or this div or this H1, but we haven't done anything with it. Now we want to, let's say we want to change the color. In CSS, we have a property called color. And then when you enter color, you put a full color on there. You need to put in the value. Now it's by default it's black, and let's say I want to change it to red. I put in red. Oh, sorry, I have an existing plugin that's stopping me from doing that. Okay, you can by default put in red and then put in your semicolon after it. Please ignore this red box you see there. If you don't see it in yours, it means you don't have the plugin installed, or rather it's obvious you don't have the plugin installed. We'll just put the full colon after it. Let's be aware that there are a ton of properties and there are various values that we can get. I'll put a link to many of them down below. I'll put them in the description down below, so you could just refer to them and see the different properties that exist for different elements in CSS. You can also change the font size if you wish. You can change the font size. You can set that 30 pixels or whatever. We understand, yeah. So basically now for foundational purposes, font sizes in CSS are put in with pixels. There are other ones we can put EMs and percentages, but for now let's stick to pixels for any sizing whatsoever. But now we can see, okay, let me save that and come back here. I see I have P, I have something else. But if I go back to my web page and I refresh, nothing changes. I thought I expected this text here to change to red because I set my P to red, but nothing has changed. So now we have to know that we have to link the HTML file and the CSS file together for that to work. And the linking happens in this place here. Let me reduce it a bit. The linking happens here in the head tag. And how are they linked? They are linked with a link file. After the link file, you put what we call rel, and then you define what it is. Rel means forward link type, and just helps to show what kind of file is this link going to be going to. In our case now, because we're using CSS, and CSS, as I said mentioned earlier, stands for cascading style sheet, we're going to be writing style sheet. And now it's okay, good, we've written style sheet. What next? We need to actually point now to that particular CSS file that's going to be used for this HTML file. The CSS file to be used for this HTML file, and the way we do that in HTML is like this, href. So now, because I'm using brackets, and that's why I encourage many of us to use IDEs, is that now immediately I put href, I can see exactly where the different files in my directory, the different files in my particular directory, and that's my particular folder. And right now, I'll just write the title of the file, which is app.css, and then I close the link with my greater than sign. I save and I go back to my, wow, nice, magic. My name is blah 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 and something else. And if we look closely, we would see that this and this have increased in font size, because by default they are not 30 pixels. They are not 30 pixels, and I put them as 30 pixels, so I've increased font size. If I decide to change this to 60 and I save and go back to my browser, I can notice that it increased. You might not notice it, but let's see if you don't notice it now. 600. Oh, good. I can't find it. Oh, scroll down. Nice. So we see we just created our very first website, and we've linked the HTML and the CSS files together. This might look very trivial and a joke, which in some sense it is very trivial, But I just wanted to introduce the fundamentals of HTML and CSS to all of us. If we go back, we see, okay, JavaScript. JavaScript is a third component of our front-end web developer stack. And JavaScript is basically for interactivity. We go to sites, we see some drop-down menus, you see some flying boxes in your site and what have you. Most, if not all of them, are controlled by JavaScript. Although for our beginner series, we won't touch JavaScript initially, I won't touch it first. But let me just give you an example or like a show of how JavaScript works. I have my website, davidkezi.com. Boom. Okay, good. So now this is my website. This is me, in case you see me anywhere. And I just have a basic portfolio of what I've done and all. That's not the essence. It's not good. If we disable JavaScript in the site, let's see what happens. Notice this. Notice all this. Okay, you know what? I have forgotten how to do that in Chrome. So let me open it in Firefox. davidkezi.com. Good. So that I can show you how you can change that. I think it's auto change. No. Disable JavaScript in Firefox. My apologies. I just want to show you how it looks without. Okay, about config. So now, before I do that, let's notice that we still have the same process. You can see everything slides from the right. It's very cool animation. When you're sliding up, it goes back out. And now, if I am to disable JavaScript, I want to disable it. Let me toggle it. You see now the value is false, and I come back here and I refresh. Let's wait for it to refresh. We're looking up here. Okay, good. It's refreshed. Now when I scroll, ooh, what happened to all that sliding in from the left? It's all gone. Why? Because I've disabled JavaScript. JavaScript enables me to have such interactivity with my own site. Okay, that's good. So these three things, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, are the toolkits we're going to be using in this series moving forward. But then we're going to build something. We're not just going to sit down and learn a bunch of concepts. We're going to actually build something. And what are you going to be building along with me? You're going to be building a website for yourself. Just the same way I built mine. I'm going to teach you how to build yours for yourself. It might be fanciful looking. Mine is pretty plain. I don't know, I just opted for the minimalistic view, but you could choose something wilder or anything. But first and foremost, we're going to build a static site, something like this, where you can have an image if you wish, some text, just a bunch of images around. Even if you don't have anything to show, like you don't have any portfolio, you just have something like this, just basically looking like this. I would be happy to lead you in this and shepherd you moving forward. And please look down in the descriptions. You're going to see links to different places you can use to learn web development as it is. Please, I will enjoin you not to keep this as your only resource, because I definitely cannot say everything that needs to be said about web development, because I myself don't know everything. So yeah, I would advise though that everyone should take the Codecademy course, learning Intro to HTML and CSS on Codecademy. That is CODECADEMY, Codecademy. So please, let's all visit Codecademy. And I can show you all that now. Codecademy.com, I believe. But let's just confirm. Google never lies. Codecademy.com. Please all come here, sign up, and you can learn HTML and CSS beginning. And you could also check out, there's this very good book that's Learn HTML and CSS by Shihao. I say how. Yes. Or it's a website rather. Please let's visit the website and you will learn more and more of HTML and CSS. Okay, with nothing else to say, yeah, building a further page, like getting HTML, CSS, opening the box, and what have you. Please let's visit this. It's very friendly and very beginner oriented and beginner focused. With that being said, I am David Kezi and oops, that's nice. I'm David Kezi and this is the end for now. Please leave any questions, comments, feedback in the comment section. Thank you very much.